just the Grimstark, basically.
Complete your draft, don't complete your wombo combo. The dream of that is kind of long past. Teams are more sophisticated than that, and I'm sure we're going to see some sophistication here as we hop into game one between Talon and Tundra. And just to kind of like quickly hit on your point, like while the Grimstroke doesn't have great Soulbind combos, he has great Inkswell combos. In fact, if you just think about this Clockwork in this game, usually Clockworks eventually reach this role where they're just the suicidal initiator. He can be the killer initiator here. Inkswell plus Iron Shell, and then you hookshot in. Not many heroes are going to survive that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy, actually. I'm going to dive in after both of those applied, so some good synergy potentially to come out there. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Grimstroke certainly has his validity as far as being picked up. And there is the fact that the thing we can't overlook, it shouldn't, frankly, is Soulbind. Yes, the idea that single target, double target is pretty cool. The binding itself is also potentially useful.
Definitely.
Against in these fights, and kind of helping to kind of create that chaos further as far as trying to respond if you're Tundra in this case. So yeah, looking forward to see the Grimstark though. Again, hero number apparently, as people are saying, 102. That's now being played. Group stages.
I need to double confirm that. I definitely didn't just read someone in Twitch.
100 plus.
Yeah, we were definitely over 100, which feels good, man. Like, any TI where almost all the heroes getting picked feels right. Like, you want to feel like every hero is viable. There's definitely standout ones that are kind of absurd at the moment. Leshrac and Marcy. But some of them are, at least fortunately, getting banned all the time, so we get a bit of diversification.
A little bit of a back and forth brawl with some of the runes, but ultimately it's 2 for 2, right? Yeah, 2 for 2 runes for either team, and into the laning phase we go. And yeah, as I was saying, Skitter, he's at the bottom lane.
Oh, he dodged out.
Down here, he dodges out, and so we'll see if we got a rotation from Talon or if they just commit to this. And right now they're just committing.
You can't rotate now unless you kill, which, by the way, they almost killed 23 Savage. He's on 80 HP. If he goes down, like that's double bad, because all the heroes that die, like you don't want to be the lone druid dying, because you have to summon the bear. That's on cooldown for 120 seconds. Then you have to TP, at which point Tundra can get favorable lane matchups. So very important that he doesn't die early here.
Top lane is a funky lane over here. It's in the middle of the jungle, but that just happens to be where it is. The Ion Shell, one of the creeps, and Doom will say, "Get over here." Darkseer doing the same.
Yeah, well, finally reconnect the waves, but 33, it's an interesting pick of what you can do with this Devour on this lane, actually, is if you see the Iron Shells early, you can just insta-snatch one of those away. Long term, it just doesn't work, though, due to the cooldown. You're waiting 60 seconds, and if you look, KP has addressed the lack of mana long term by going double Sage Mask opening.
That's interesting. All right.
That plus you can do this, right? Instead of Iron Shell and creeps, Iron Shell the bigger creep. And then watch him die.
Yeah, that's the risky part. He is going to live. Never mind. That was just enough damage. So, first blood. Going to Snaky.
You wanted to just make sure you cursed it appropriately, right? It's pretty vicious. The only upside, of course, is that he's not going to lose int for that yet. But as that happens, what? Okay, that shouldn't be happening, though. Level 3 solo kill Kunkka against the Pangolier.
I saw him get him low earlier on, so I think, again, I wasn't watching it, unfortunately, but so maybe it had something to do with the Pango being low and living life on the edge type deal. But yeah, either way, that's your point. It definitely should not be happening. So, but hell of a start now for Tundra, especially knowing that's the case.
Yeah, and they like 9 having this start. I mentioned earlier how priorities kind of switched. 33 can still have pop-off games, but I feel like there's a lot more emphasis on 9 to carry that mid-game. Kunkka's a hero that can most definitely do that. With a start like this, will do that.
Bottom.
Of course, can't... Oh. Okay, that's only Saxa.
He's dead.
Yeah, so not one the core's going down. So that should happen maybe one more time, but then I'm expecting a 1-1-1 build. Once you have the 1-1-1 build, this kill should never occur, unless you catch the Hoodwink like mid-lane and you use Phantom's Embrace.
Yeah, it was actually, I don't know if the Stork of Fate actually connected, but the Inkswell definitely helping to come into play to run him down in the trees. They knew he's over there. And so they make the kill happen. So get the first kill on the side of Talon at least. After dropping the first 2, but Skitter, he's 10-3 against the Lone Druid. That's 13-3. So Lone Druid still having it slightly better when it comes to CS, at least up at the top. But the cores of Tundra, both in Kunkka and Doom, are having a very good time right now.
I actually just realized how annoying Hoodwink is against Lone Druid on the lane. Because usually you walk back when these heroes push up against you, and then once the Acorn shot gets popped out, I mean, you've got two heroes. You probably click them both back. So it's more likely that you get the return bounce towards Lone Druid, so you up your harassment. It's a small thing, but it definitely adds up over the course of a lane.
Oh. He gets the bushwhack shot up on the bear.
They found snaking. Luckily, 33 came across. A little bit surprising that doesn't convert to a kill. Then again, Hyde is only level 2. If that was level 2 Barrier Assault, Snaking's dead every day of the week.
3-3 did pick up that Midas in the previous game I was mentioning earlier, in the earlier series, so I assume he's going to go the similar direction this game. Oh, he's running the Darks here, almost getting a kill. In fact, Hyde might be in trouble now.
What? No, Hyde just stands his ground. 33. Oh! Hey, you really wish KP could come back in, but on 100 HP, no chance. So great edge of the... Like, what's the word? Edge of the best play, I guess you could say, for 33. And yeah, that Midas seems more and more likely. When you get a start like this, it becomes a free game very fast.
Yeah. Nine playing so aggressive in this mid lane. Yeah, even gonna get some more damage right there with the auto attack on the creep of that Tidebringer. But Makoto constantly having to play at his tower, it seems like, and in the lane pushed up. And of course with that death from earlier, so Honka continues to win that mid matchup for Tundra.
Yeah, and I think Tundra have set themselves up for great like laning potential because of the way this played out. Like the way that lanes got dodged, and now in conjunction with how mid's going, Tundra have a very comfortable start to this game. You can even see it already. 2k net worth up at 5.5 minutes. And likely to extend it in the coming minutes due to how quickly the Kunkka and the Doom farm. Speaking of that Kunkka, looks like he wants to spill some blood. Has got the X. Hyde. No easy way of surviving this. Way too much damage coming his way.
Yeah, that's where you just say, all right, I am dead. Let's go. Get this over with. Clockwork, no chance of surviving there. Another 10 seconds, he'll be back up and coming back. But yeah, more to the point that 9 on Kunkka's continuing to accelerate very well. A double bracer already picked up. He gets an infused raindrop as well. And he is going to just keep getting bigger and better as the time goes on here. So yeah, this idea of running the Darks here, you figure, we kind of talking about how it's to match up against the Naga Siren, if anything, in the laning phase. Well, that didn't even happen because of the early lane swap or the decision by Tundra to send Naga to the bottom lane. And now Darkseer is very underfarmed, and Naga's doing pretty good at the bottom lane.
And Tundra are doing a good job of stripping away any small element that Talon could try to latch onto. Like, for example, when Kunkka finished that kill, he's rotating mid. Pangolier knows he gets rune control because it's 6 minutes coming up. So he will look to contest on the northern one just in case and then move to the south. But because he done that, Hoodwink moved from the southern lane and denied the rune. Even though it was only a regen rune, it's still something that would give an opportunity for that Pangolier. And speaking of opportunities, bot lane sees exactly that. Hoodwink, a little bit too far forward. Inkswell able to punish, and they do get a kill on the Saxa.
Yeah, it's going to come at the cost, though, of his own life. So we end up seeing the eye for the eye trade. Grimstroke goes down for the Hoodwink in the end. There's, once again, to that point, more of the rotation from Kunkka. Top lane, Hyde. He's just dead. Trapped up himself with the Doom, and not the opponent you want to face off against.
Yeah, it's just getting worse. Like, if you're on even footing, there's a world in which the Iron Shell plus the Barrier Assault wins. You're not on even footing. That's a level 6 Doom and a poor little level 3 Clockwork. So you can't even really front line for KP anymore. And I think that's why they're now rotating up additional support here. They need to try and address this problem.
Well, easier said than done. I mean, Grimstroke here, but
Freebie.
Can't do much if he's hiding by his tower.
Poor little Silencer is at least going to waste the time of Makoto, but no way he was getting out of that. While that's happening, 33 is now finally going to be punished. Great rotation from Q, netting them probably the best kill they can actually achieve right now.
Well, you know, the best thing about that was the patience, really, by the supports of Clockwork and Grimstroke. You were seeing that kill and the silencer happening by Makoto, and that Doom cleared the creep wave at the tower. As I was saying, though, they can't kill him unless he gets away from the tower. Sure enough, as soon as he cleared the creep wave, he sort of headed to the jungle to maybe say hello to the Pango. Little did he know that those two supports were lying there in the waiting. So, yeah, very, very good patience there from Talon, and the excellent rotation overall as a team, and certainly addressing an issue in Doom that they absolutely needed to. Now, Kunkka is the next one, but Kunkka's moving top lane. He's looking for a kill himself potentially now.
They'll probably dodge this. I think right now, you've noticed so far, it's almost like intentionally Talon have avoided Kunkka. You know, when he shows up, they just like accept it's a death. Like you can't do anything to stop these X combos right now, and Kunkka himself is a bit too tanky. More so than Doom, most definitely. Plus, killing the Doom actually hurts more than like killing the Kunkka, just because of how quickly he escalates with the Midas plus Devour build.
Oh, the scan actually will hit the support still hanging around up at the top lane, coming out from the side of Tundra, so...
Oh, poor Saxa.
So, yeah.
Okay, he's lucky that Mikoto could have possibly still killed him off there with a haste. Instead, looks like there's going to be a fight top, snaking. He tanks the gank. That's what's important, Breaky. And then turns it into a kill.
But exactly, they're just going to turn it into the easy kill and a Clockwork Darkseer. Not sure about that wall. It's not much is going to come of that.
Yeah, it's just for them, it's kind of just trying to skew the kill quicker and stop any counterattack, but you just see how trivial it is for a Kunkka. Like, this combo at this point in the game just does so much damage with one Tidebringer clap. It's being getting clapped. Bot lane. What?
Entangling Claws. Pretty good when it procs.
Yeah, good play from Mikoto. Commit the Rolling Thunder to lock her in space long enough. It's your classic carry illusion hero. They have something that could save them at level 6, but they'll never take it.
Top lane though, Inkswell is up, Clockwork runs right in. Talked about this combo, and it certainly is potent. Silencer is dead, but Doom, he's got the tower protection and a TP support from Hoodwink. So Doom, he's looking to fight this. Great job with the bushwhack. They get the one free kill on the Clockwork. Are they gonna get the second? They sure are. Scorched Earth is down, and you ain't running away from this Doom. So a 2-for-1 turn to favor Tundra.
Saxa, stop. I said you have to get my hero buffed, not nerfed. Man, that was a premium bushwhack there. Just turns it around. It allows 33 to extend his lead. Small little detail here as well that's making it now much harder for Talon to do this combo. Look at what Doom yoinked. He's got the Perch. So he's able to dispel off the Iron Shell, which takes away probably about 30 to 40% of your damage output in these ganks.
Yep. Just noticing that myself, actually, as you're referring to it. And it's kind of becoming a bit more clearer of a picture as to why Doom is absolutely able to dominate that top lane. Especially with such an ability. So, yeah, he's having a very, very good time.
Yeah, speaking of dominating, in the farm department, though, Scorched Earth is definitely no joke. He's going to take all the creeps and just look at that net worth. Escalating. They're going to try to now deal with it, but a little bit too late. Mikoto's going to move in. Maybe they'll be able to find a kill on 33. Global Silence comes out before the Doom, but the Bushwhack saves the day. 33. Clutch save comes out from Saxa, keeps him alive, and they won't be able to turn it into a kill. But Gluttony sets in. 33 hangs around, and Hyde is able to reinitiate with a hook shot.
The stroke of fate to finish the job, but yeah, Hyde certainly the reason why they're going to make that happen. Bottom lane, you got Lone Tree now trying to run away. The entangle once again, this one hitting Kunkka, and it's going to buy the time needed to escape despite the torrent even connecting back to the top lane. Okay, they're just pushing the tower now.
Yeah, that's not the real Doom. That was just a greedy play, though. I mean, Saxa, godly hoodwink. Like, the saves time and time again, setting up kills, but also saving the day. 33 really wanted to finish that stack, though. I think it's one of those annoying feelings where you've had to commit Doom. You're like, well, I should now be able to do something then, right? Wrong. In this situation, there's no turnaround opportunity then. The fact that he hesitates and maybe thinks he can at least hang around a farm leads to his inevitable death and still gives Talon the cheddar they're looking for. What makes it even worse is bot lane, where I don't think X was actually used on 23 Savage. It looked like he was moving slow enough without boots that the boat would connect, and looks like 9 was wrong on that estimate.
And 23 Savage, looking at his net worth, he's starting to keep up with the Doom and even the Kunkka to an extent. He's going to get that Mithril Hammer delivered, so trying to finish the Desolator for his bear, who already has that Mask of Madness. Definitely keeping an eye on the Lone Druid, just like we should certainly be keeping an eye, and so should Talon of Skitter playing this Naga Siren. Got the Yasha, managed to back to the bottom lane, KP.
Yeah, 9. He's going to try to get the bow out to protect him, but too little too late. Damage reduction is nice, but not when you've already been reduced to 25% health. And Rolling Thunder follow-up will connect on the Snaking. Reinforcements aren't on the way, but Mikoto misses the swashbuckle, so Snaking gets to tell the tale of what happened to Kunkka.
Arcane Joker is thrown out just before he fully retreats there, but yeah, still the kill that they were looking for, they get, and that's what matters. BKB for 33 it's coming along. It's almost here, in fact, and that's going to be critical for Tundra to be able to have a stronger presence in this game right now. Nagasar bullied out of her Ancients. Able to get a couple there, it looked like, but again, clearly to the point that they need to not forget about this Nagasar, and they certainly aren't. The fact that they're able to go in and kind of bully her away.
Yeah, Naga needs space, and that space, like, she's putting in an order, but this isn't Amazon next day delivery. You need to wait 2 minutes. Double BKB is on the way. 9 only needs the recipe, and as we mentioned with 33, he's already there. So with double BKB, they can take these fights and create the space, but in the meantime, that space was needed sooner. Skidder gets found out near his ancient area, and the support duo take out the +1 of Tundra.
How about this? Grimstroke doesn't even have Soulbind, but it kind of even goes more to the point that Soulbind just doesn't really feel they don't have the synergy with it. So it's not, you don't need a rush to get it by any means.
Yeah, it's like, who are you going to use it on this game? Like, the hero you want to use it on most because he'd be annoying is Saxa to keep him in place, but there's like Saxa should never be near another hero. And he's probably even going towards the Aether lens to enable that type of build as well, where he's independent of his team.
There's a Deso finish now, a lone Druid. Meanwhile, 3 players are smoked. More around them on the side of Talon. They are playing very aggressive right now. Looking to pick off somebody as nighttime hits as we hit 15 minutes into the game. Silencer, likely to be that somebody at this point. Hookshot in 2 seconds.
You don't dive. No,
Yep,
okay, he's going to try for it. The Kunka's here, though. Snaking's going to go down, but there will be a return kill. Reinforcements have arrived. 33 gets in as well. Soulbind is going to be committed here. Roll Thunder Throw will force out the BKB, and Makoto will be happy for that exchange, as long as it doesn't lead to more deaths. But it looks like last on the chopping block is going to be Q.
Yeah, so to your point, it's on paper it seemed like probably shouldn't have gone right there, and that was correct. The bear, it's fine, but yeah, 2 for 1. Quick math suggests that Tundra certainly has the favorite in that return, that response even. BKB committed by Doom, so his first use there, but making good use of it, and he's well on his way to that Blink Dagger now next in line.
Like, you are diving a tier 2 at the end of the day. There is going to be TP responses, especially if it's not instantaneous kill, which it's never going to be, not even on silencer like that. But you can see what Talon are trying to do. They have lower cooldowns. So they're trying to play between Tundra's fat cooldowns, with the global silence being 130 seconds and that Doom being 145.
Oh, yeah, Kunkka with the BKB himself. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, it's what they were waiting for, that double BKB I talked about. Like, 9 was about 1,000 out when 33 completed his. Now they have this together, they're going to create a lot of space for the Naga. So their goal is to draw attention. The problem is Talon aren't recognizing this. They're ignoring this push in the tier 1 because they're getting something much better. They're in the Roche pit.
Yep. They're going to secure it. And nothing to be done by Tundra other than a scan to confirm what's happening. But no way that they're defending it at this point, and Lone Druid will easily pick up that Aegis.
Yeah, the importance of that scan is simply to let Skidder know to move away. So you notice Naga shifted deeper into the jungle, so she wouldn't be a snowball effect of the Roche instantly dying afterwards. Because now that Talon have got their hands on the Aegis, the most logical goal for them is this tier 2 top.
They're posturing as if they're going to be doing that, certainly. Skidder goes over to his own Ancients, though, and continues farm over there. He has his Manta style and goes right into the heart queue up, I believe. If not mistaken, this is, again, the exact build he was from the previous game as well. And then I'm trying to think if he went the Butterfly or the Scotty after. But point is, yeah, the heart was next after the Manta. So keeping the tradition alive there as far as his item build.
We have seen some Nagas going for a Bloodfawn at this point, so they have that solid pickoff potential. But I think for Skidder, he's just more interested in unlocking the late game as fast as possible. He's astutely aware that this Lone Druid is going to scale, so he just needs to reach his late game timing instead of playing around in the mid. Speaking of mid towers, that's going to be a freak on the tier 1. Pretty big deal. You're going to get that exchange to the tier 2. Like what Talon's doing, just trying to now force Tundra to TP back, because the moment that happens, Talon can peel back and take out all that fresh vision that Tundra just got down.
Only 18 minutes into this game. It actually feels like it's like even been a little bit longer, but well, still not even 20 minutes in, so the top lane being heavily pushed.
I think it's to do with the methodical approach from both teams. Like, they're taking fights, but they're very selective about the way they're taking fights, right? Outside of that diving in the tier 2, I feel like both teams have shown good restraint in their approach to these brawls. Which fits. I mean, I mentioned in the draft, right, like Talon, they do play this way intentionally. They don't necessarily take big risks often.
Interesting here with the Grimstroke. So you see, again, it's a long ways away. He has a shard, by the way, for the Inkswell buff, but the Dark Portrait being thought about as far as the Ag Scepter pickup. So that's definitely a unique thing about this hero. And, of course, against the Naga Siren, feels potentially pretty good.
Yeah, when you see an illusion here on the other side and you picked a Grimstroke already, you smile. Like, I know what my late game build's going to include. It's going to take a very long time to get there unless I find a Philly Stone, but one day, sadly for him in this game, I don't think he's going to get a Philly Stone. Not to see. They've still got free tier 2 items, so there's always hope.
Basher for the Bears now coming along as Tundra will reclaim their outpost at the top. Now starting to take over the top part of the map. Of course, you kind of see the natural progression of the game as far as the movement. As soon as Talon moves into the jungle of Tundra, Tundra goes about, as far as on the ancient side, they go about just going up to the top part and not looking to necessarily commit to that fight just yet. In fact, 3-3, he portions the middle lane with those boots of travel. He's going to cut the creep wave.
Yeah, he knows there's the problem coming. He blinks away just before the bear would get in range. Just need to be always astutely aware because it's not just the bear, it's the clockwork. The clockwork can easily punish you for these greedy farming locations. But I do like the 33's playing towards this ability to stretch the map. And the cool thing about these boots of travel, you know, usually when we see boots of travel, we feel like, oh, he just wants to split push. This just ensures that 33 can show up to the fight every time. As he is the biggest net worth hero on the team, you feel like you have to be present at this stage for your Naga to get more space.
Oh, that's a TP into the trees. Top lane, by the way. High goes in, but the BKB reaction from 9 immediately. Out comes the ship, and the turret on a clockwork as Hookah's going to keep running, but nope. Got a hook shot in. Going to keep him still at bay. The Inkswell not going to connect, though, thanks to the BKB still being on. Global silence. Trying to allow 9 to keep on running right here. So far, it's working. He gets Fear the other towards his base, so he's like, thank you very much. But the Entangle eventually connects. And down goes Kunkka, so they were right to chase was Talon as they inevitably get the kill on a Kunkka.
Yeah, that was a taste of sadness right there. You saw him BKB, and he wanted to TP. But the hook shot threat. I'm kind of surprised Global Silence wasn't popped soon. I'm pretty sure they had it available. Like, that would have at least allowed the Kunkka to get out. But in the end, he does get popped and dropped. And now Talon still having that Aegis. Might look to just poke high ground again. Bear doesn't take long to munch through these towers.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the benefits when you saw the Lone Druid pick up for Talon and kind of answering their lack of objective pushing. Well, he's pretty good for that, specifically the towers. And the Bear is back, the Basher online with that Deso. And we're going to see this tower start melting away. So if you're Tundra, you definitely have to defend this, and they already have TPs coming in. Specifically Tundra. Looks like Doom's going to follow up, and they're ready to initiate, but Savage. Yeah, there's the X. Pulls him back. He is taking in that true form. And speaking of, his Bear is in the front line trying to deal with the Nagasara, but now Savage gets jumped on by Doom, but Doom actually getting locked down. Out comes the Soul Bind. The Sleep's going to be used by Skidder. Trying to reset this fight. Sharpshooter. It's not going to kill anybody. Being launched out, but the reset, and now they have no sleep.
Yeah, they've used a lot. Global Silence still not available for 40 seconds. Boat now on cooldown for 40. Talon could try to push in, but I think they're going to hesitate because now they don't have an Aegis anymore, so they will just back away, even keeping the Bear alive. But key detail there, Doom tried to initiate. Great reaction coming out from Talon. The hook shot from Hyde saved the day. That stopped him from waving his arms and casting Doom quick enough, and from that point on, Tundra had to retreat.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out because I know something stopped him right there. You can tell with the animation going off, but got stunned in that attempt of doing so, and the hook shot from Clockwork being the one to do it. But Skidder, he went immediately back to farm as soon as that sleep wore off, and they started to retreat. He went right back to the bottom of the map and started to jungle down here. That is, continued that farm, and I believe he just finished his heart. So, yeah, this Nagasaren has started to really become a bit more of a threat now. The heart, kind of the beginning of that at least.
Now, typically this is a one more item syndrome situation, but I think they're going to try to aggressively farm a Skidder and thus put him in position to take a fight with them. You can see by this posture, they're waiting for one member of Talon to walk back into their jungle. They'll take anything they can find. And looks like they will find a Clockwork. A bit gluttonous trying to deal with the illusions. It's going to force out the Rolling Thunder, and they will instantly break away. Mikoto is pursuing, though, going pretty deep. We'll be able to get the initial stun on the Doom. He still has the ultimate to work with. Global Science, BKB used Lotus is going to stop him from casting his ultimate, though. Instead, they're just going to have to club him down casually. Not enough damage, however, and Hyde hook shots in. 33 gets clipped and taken out. No Doom being used whatsoever. Just a big win of a fight for Talons. They'll also find the Kunkka.
Yeah, oh, he almost potentially gets another one, but not going to connect. Yeah, just the insistency on countering there and pushing out. I mean, it seemed like it was going to be, honestly, a pretty good decision by Tundra to retreat as they did with the Rolling Thunder threat in the back lines, but they were not able to retreat enough, specifically that Doom. I mean, you know what did it? Speaking of clockwork, the rocket hit him right as Pango was coming in to jump him as well, which deactivated his blink. So he was unable to blink away, and thus the save your teammate syndrome kicked in for Tundra, and it clearly backfired on them. So the rocket connecting, I think, really is what allowed that fight to be so successful for Talon, or else Tundra would have likely fully retreated there.
Yeah, and just great way that Talon formulate around these fights. Like, their formation is perfect. They send the Pangolier in, who has got the Lotus Orb to protect himself against the Doom, and then they follow it up every time with the Bear. Even KP is staying further back so that 33 doesn't get to play his game. It's just a great example of how you can utilize the formation to take a win in these fights. I mean, it's something that usually gets glanced over. Like, we hear teams talk about keep formation all the time. But in these type of games with high-value heroes like Doom, you can see what it means to keep formation.
Yeah, and Doom continues to be this case of, yes, he's getting a lot of farm, but really doesn't seem the most impactful. Got to be frank about that. He hasn't really been able to get good Doom casts off himself this game, and that last fight no different. So ideally for 3-3, you need to be able to at least get that off and, you know, not be the target focus. Of course, that comes down to being the ones to jump yourselves. That's where it really starts if you're Tundra, so finding that initiation.
And 33 is now trying to diversify away from just being a Doom. I like these going for the Ag Shard, just get that club, make it a nice stun. One thing I have always hated about this is this obsession with making Doom a hero that requires me to do maths. You can respect where I'm coming from, Breaky, right? Like, I don't open up a game of Dota to calculate.
And I brought this up to Gods earlier as well, when I was commentating with him on a previous series. Did you play Dota 1?
No, unfortunately I came in the beginning of Dota 2.
Nine is in trouble, by the way.
No,
I'll get to the point in a second. Okay, he's fine. No, so it's actually a callback to Dota 1. There was an ability called Level Up on Doom. That's essentially what that is with the Infernal Blade, going back to your point about math. So it was silly back then, and yeah, it stands true now.
That was in Dota 2. Like, they had that originally for him. I think it's Level Death it used to be called. Yeah, it was Level Death. And it was like, you done more damage to a person based on their level. I was like, I don't want to do maths. Yeah, just they brought it back, though, for some reason. Apparently, Dota's trying to teach us things. Maybe they're trying to teach Skidder a lesson here. Down to half HP, no chance to get the song out just yet. Silence on him as well, so still can't use it. And it looks like Doom is going to come out. Pango turned around upon, but Bear stands his ground. 33 the BKB, but forced to retreat. Nice bodyguarding come out from 23 Savage, but Skidder deeper in, looking for a target. Bear is finally going to be addressed, and 23 Savage now low himself with a resummon. Naga's going to try to chase the vacuum, turn around. KP now trying to counterattack. This song will stop them in their steps, though. No way to retreat. An aggressive song leads to an aggressive win in this fight for Tundra.
Yeah, and you look at Nagasar full life, still much of a threat. The Riptide's continuing to cut through. 2 heroes are dead. And it looks like that'll be all they get, but I say all they get the Lone Druid. That is the biggest factor, of course, for Tundra. So yes, the racks are destroyed, but clearly coming at a cost for Talon. And, I mean, yeah, Lone Druid, he was tanky as hell. Clearly a factor, but even with the wall combo from Darkseer, it didn't matter. And the sleep being used to make that happen. 3-3, did he overstep? Yeah, he's dead, isn't he? The soul might even connect to the last sec. It's not going to matter too much, though, but now Hyde. He finally goes down, but yeah, just all that to kill a Clockwork, not what you're looking for. Now we continue. Mikoto, Rolling Thunder, no, he stops it actually. And maybe he regrets that. He's gonna get locked in place with the ensnare and he's dead. So, never mind.
Okay, back and forth affair. That looked really bad at the beginning for Tundra, but the fact that Mikoto got greedy looking for what he thought was a freebie on a Snake King leads to it being a good exchange in the end for Tundra. Yeah, 33 goes down, but you shut out the Pangolier, which is one of the best counters they have right now to the Roche. You've still got KP, but without that follow-up of a Rolling Thunder, it's incredibly difficult for Talon to now defend this.
And this is, again, similar to the previous game where this Naga Siren specific with the heart, and you already see queuing up potentially even a full Bloodthorn going to be going that direction, but hold that thought because Grimstroke is now caught, and so is the Darkseer, and they just get shredded. I mean, already these illusions and the Skitter army are just doing so much damage. Of course, Kunkka is also doing plenty himself, and they're going to go right back to Roshan to complete this objective now. So, yeah, it felt like that Talon had really hit a point that they're starting to, you know, look very good. The top push was great, but the catch of the sleep is what started this turnaround now from Tundra.
Yeah, and the sleep is multifaceted because this Naga did get the Axe Shot. So she was healing her allies in that for 8 seconds, 5% every second. So that's 40% health return to everyone in that fight. So if you aren't able to burst kills instantly as Talon, you lose these fights. You can't actually have long-term fights. If you look, Tundra is always designed to take long-term fights like this. They'll open up with the Doom. Onto the Lone Druid, the slow pursuit will begin, and Skitter has now arrived. Global Sun's going to be thrown out, and this Lone Druid is going to be dead. And without the bear, Talon have not got a leg to stand on. They'll try to retreat with minimum casualties, but more are going to fall. Clockwork found. They'll look to follow it up with one onto Mikoto, but they'll just have to settle for a kill into Grimstroke instead.
Now, well, with Lone Druid and Clockwork already dead, you're very satisfied with the fact that you're going to be killing a Grimstroke on top of that. And I keep going back to Skitter just doesn't feel like he's all too worried at this point. He's just very confident because, and this is what goes back to even the final pick of the Darkseer, right? It's like, you know, what kind of answer were they going to give along with the Pango in terms of being able to clear out these illusions? And it's like, okay, Darkseer, the Iron Shell, there is something there, sure. But we're at a point of this game now where the Iron Shell, he couldn't care less. Like, it's just not going to be a factor. So that will now be the biggest thing to overcome some way, somehow, if you're Talon, in terms of how do you address this Naga Siren. Now, in the previous game, you know, the idea of the Radiance talk happened. I mean, you do have a Lone Druid, but I don't know if he's going to be able to commit to anything like a Radiance right now. It looks like he does have a Mjolnir, in fact, almost finished. Yeah,
and I think another issue you're seeing for Talon is now that they're on the defensive, now that they're having to react to plays, they're getting caught out time and time again. You saw how enabled 33 is when he initiates. When it's not 5-on-5, where they have this brilliant formation that stops a good Doom. Another detail, we saw it near the Ancient area where Saxa caught 2. These bushwhacks with the Aether Lens, great cheap initiation long range, also buffs follow-up damage with the Hunter's Boomerang. All he's doing is softening up for an opening for one of his cores to utilize. And now that Tundra are on the offensive, they are relentless. 15k net worth lead. We've got Shadowblade now on 9. They're just able to dive deep and look for kills consistently in this game.
I want to call back to that previous kill they got on Pango, by the way, with the Rolling Thunder. That was actually the Ensnare that did actually interrupt it and prevent it from getting it off effectively, and then, of course, the kill following the fact. So just to make that clear as well. So, but, yeah, this is 15,000 net worth lead currently on the side of Tundra. Of course, Naga's are leading the way, but there's more than just the Naga. It's not just like, oh, she's just overfarmed. It's her teammates, too, of both the other cores are looking very good with the Kunkka and the Doom. And, yeah, you see the ship right there. Makoto's going to Rolling Thunder pretty defensively now.
Yeah, I think you trade the ship for Rolling Thunder any day because you don't need the damage mitigation as much anymore now that you have the healing song. So now you're content to try and look for a fight or an objective because without Rolling Thunder, Talon's initiation is fairly weak. Clockwork, he's reached that phase that many Clockworks do when they start losing the game. He can't initiate anymore. I say that, he's going to initiate on the hardest target here, but you see what I mean. He instantly disengages.
See ya. Yeah, that jetpack.
Look at the range. This hero. What a view. Freebie coming out. It's going to force a little bit of a probing fight, but no one's willing to die to try and save a Grimstroke.
No. Yeah, just retreat back into the jungle, continue more farm. You got the Aegis for another minute and a half on Naga Siren. The BKB currently on cooldown for 70 seconds, so perhaps going to wait for that at the very least. 3,200 gold saved up. The Butterfly has now been queued up as well. There really doesn't seem like there's going to be an answer to that anytime soon if you're Talon on the other side. So, yeah, this Naga Siren continues to be just not unaddressed. It's just simply they can't. They're having troubles, understandably, being able to effectively address the Naga Siren. And yeah, Doom 3-3 again, going the Octarine core. Like I said, this is basically the same exact build he went last time as well. He followed this up with a refresher, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like here he might go with Shiva's, but point is, his farm, I made the comment earlier, not necessarily doing the greatest with it. Well, it's kind of changed now, especially with the Naga Siren coming online. Now Doom is able to have a bit more freedom as he's not the sole focus.
Yeah, and now they're having to try and address the Naga, and they're finding some funky ways. Just look at what KP is going for next. It's going to be an Ags, so he's going to try to normal punch his way to victory. Difficult to say if that's going to be enough against Skidder, but every little is definitely going to help. It all is on 23 Savage, though, which is the way that Talon likes to play their games. It's like, what do we do to enable him? And if you look at the entire arsenal of tools at their disposal, everything is about holding a target in place long enough for the bear to munch. The question mark right now is whether that bear is big enough to stand and fight up against this Naga.
I mean, simple answer. I got that for you. The answer is no. That will definitely need a bit more. Not to spoil the party there, but no, I don't think, especially now with the butterfly purchase by Naga Siren. Okay, look at this, though. This is, we got the Dark Portrait, by the way, being used by Grimstroke, so starting to see that come into play now.
They want to kill. Like, they know the Aegis just ran out. They're instantly going to smoke, but Tundra, of course, they understand how this works. Once the Aegis runs out, the enemy team is going to try to make a move, even when they're this far behind. And instead, they're going to delay their own smoke and come out. Skidder leads the way in. Roll and Thunder initiation onto Skidder would be ambitious. Instead, they try to count Photo 3 out, but Mikoto, I just don't get it. He'll at least get the lowest reflection, so 33 is doomed as well. And that should lead to a net neutral stance between both sides here.
This Dark Portrait is actually pretty annoying for them to deal with, but...
Well, these normal illusions are pretty annoying as well. Q almost dies to one of them. Hookshot's going to be forced out. 9 committing in, but BKB's activated. Boat coming through as well. And that'll give the damage mitigation for them to target out individuals. Clockwork brought down, and 23 Savage! The brutal damage from the Riptide will wipe him off the map. And now, Talon have to run like headless chickens.
I hate to say it if you're a Talon fan, but I think game one is all but in the books here in favor of Tundra. It's just, this Naga Siren is out of control. And again, it's not even just a Naga Siren, like I keep going back to. If it was just a Naga Siren, maybe a different story. No, both the Doom and the Kunkka are very farmed as well. And these quote-unquote answers, the Dark Portrait, the normal punch eventually, it just is not even close to enough to what they need at this point of the game. So I know it's not going to be officially over yet, but Naga Siren leading the way as far as pushing out this mid lane, and going to go for the tower now themselves. I will say, when it comes to building hitting, that's, I suppose, the one saving grace for Talon, that they aren't necessarily going to get their bases wrecked at this point.
Yeah, and there's some reasonable deep push with the Stroke of Fate, Swashbuckle, the Rock Flares as well, so they can somewhat slow that push down. But you just see the issue right in that fight. That lone druid they killed, it's absurd. He's 3.3k HP, but he doesn't seem like it. He only has 13 armor, which means that Riptide is getting him close to pure damage levels. It's vicious, man, at this stage. I mean, the Riptide popping so frequently as well, you just saw his health evaporate. I think the problem you now have is you still have no way of directly addressing the Naga. You've got these Q elements like you saw the Lotus and how he actually got it off against the Doom. That, I think, led to false confidence in Talon. Because they managed to Doom the Doom in return, they seemingly thought they could take a fight, but they keep forgetting that Naga and Kunkka are still a big detail here.
Something else, too, in that last fight I forgot to reiterate was 9 actually just 100 to 0 on the Grimstroke, I believe it was. Opened up with a Silver Edge auto attack, so see you later there. And that's, again, it goes back to, it really is more than just the Naga as far as the presence in this game.
Oh, no, he found him.
Grimstroke, oh no, on the uphill. Naga's like, I want to help, but okay.
They have global silence for it. I'm a little bit surprised that they committed the global silence, but I guess they panicked a little when the Grimstroke survived on 10% HP. That maybe is an opportunity for Talon.
Top lane.
And it's pushing in, but it's not pushing in hard enough for them to insta-come back. I think they have to, though. Like, it's still catapults getting through your initial buildings.
Yeah, and to my point earlier, as far as, you know, saying that this one is all but over, that kind of hit me after the fact, as I said that, then I pointed out that when it comes to building hitting and sieging for Tundra, they really aren't the strongest at it. So unless they just completely wipe Talon in a fight, they're not going to be wrecking the base of Talon in to that point even further. We see what's happening at the top lane. The Rat Dota continuing to kick in. They already have the Rax kill in their favor. They're wrapping around and trying to make a kill happen on Savage, but no, he's out of there, so no chance on him.
Yeah, they won't move up towards Darkseer, so Darkseer is going to be safe. I mean, he's surrounded on all sides. It's a miracle he doesn't get spotted out in the end. We'll be able to TP away, so they'll get everyone back. They'll get a few neutral items in the process, which was what they were out there for. And Bear is still around here up top, actually. Oh, this
It's
is
a very
I like
long
this.
Roshan.
Yeah, so this is cool from 23 Savage. Look what he's doing. He's using the Mjolnir, so he doesn't have to attack with the bear. But they doom the bear. And he's coming back in on the TP with the creep wave.
The Axe effect.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's cool and all, but he looked the wrong way, so he's not renewing it. It's just going to run out.
Nope. Catch the bear. Catch the bear.
Yeah, but you did just rotate the whole team. You did just use Doom, and he does have resummon. Now, this is a big deal if you somehow find 23 Savage again. Otherwise, you just threw a Doom out and wasted a lot of time.
Doom, it's down to 40-second cooldown remaining now, so...
That's true. It's not the longest at this
most
point.
time.
Yeah, he did take the talent, right? Yeah, the 35-second minus. I think like the deal for them, why it's worthwhile, is because of what I've been saying, where it's all on Lone Druid. He either wins the fight or loses the fight. So their logic is like, if we remove one of the bears, like we remove half their ability to fight, if that makes sense. And if you look at the cooldown comparison, summon bears 120 seconds. Doom, 110. So you end up with Doom sooner than he gets summoned bear again.
They really are trying to control this Roshan, but like I said, it was, I want to say it was even like a 3-minute Roshan respawn in total, so it's been a very long time that Tundra is kind of getting antsy about it. It's like, come on, I mean, he should definitely have spawned by now.
Tick-tock,
Still
tick-tock.
not yet, though. But it will spawn here in a couple of seconds, and go figure it's when Tundra's not necessarily is there, at least at the moment, but another check-in.
Yeah. Go figure it's exactly when the clockwork checks it as well. So Talon know perfectly when this is up, and they'll know that Tundra are going in straight away. Question is whether they can do anything about it. It doesn't feel like they're moving with enough imminence to address this.
It's tough. I mean, the illusion's constantly being sent in from the Naga. Now they are using Grimstroke's Dark Portrait to do the same, essentially, kind of being a movable ward. And it's not the fullest commitment by Tundra. Again, dare I say, when it comes to objective taking, Tundra is not going to be killing this quickly. They're trying to bait out Talon.
Yes, that's the thing. They understand that they hard commit and they potentially lose the game. But if Talon come and defend, Talon lose the game. Dark Portrait leading the way. As you said, just really freaking annoying. Naga at this stage. Like, yes, have a taste of what you've been doing to us. It's not fun, is it?
Yeah, it's kind of funny how this one illusion is.
Snaking! Snaking! Oh, luckily for him, yeah, it does run out. That was fortunate because this is a fast illusion. Remember, they move quicker than the Normie Naga. Good lord. 30% faster, in fact. I think that was about 512 movement speed Naga illusion.
Oh, it does. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, look at it now. 550 the ink swell, we won't count that. 517 movement speed on this.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Zoom, zoom. Yeah, the Conquest is trying to... Again, it's... The duration, though, you essentially just sort of wear out. It's more of just avoiding it during that whole time.
Yeah, like, arguably, this is the best hero to play against as a Grimstroke. Just because of the flexibility. Like, a Naga is always going to push all the lanes, so you can, for free, just walk over and get it, right? Like, there are other heroes that, you know, Juggernaut used to be used as a classic good one, like, to get an illusion off because he's just so strong, great stats. But the Juggernaut has to be there, right? He doesn't push as much with illusions as a hero like Naga does. I don't think any hero in the game does.
It is kind of funny that a second pick Grimstroke, the first Grimstroke we've seen all tournament, is essentially the one, like, kind of actual answer that Talon seems to have so far to the last pick Naga Siren. Go figure.
I think the spooky part is like that isn't a good enough answer in itself anymore when you look at the Doom. I think Doom's getting to a stage where maybe you just think about a refresher. I mean, you've got 4k HP, you've got BKB, you've got overwhelming blink. Double Doom would be God's work for you at this stage.
Yeah, he's zooming around himself too with that Scorched Earth and got that overwhelming blink. Pretty good. I mean, Roshan, so Roshan's been up. Again, it's... I guess Tundra's overall net worth is just continuing to accelerate much, much more. So, again, they're satisfied with this.
Yeah.
Just a matter of time before Talon makes a mistake, I suppose, is what they're kind of banking on here.
Their ceiling is high.
They don't need to rush.
Yeah, the ceiling is higher when you look at the two lineups. Like, we can argue the fun of, like, oh, Lone Druid gets 12 items. It rarely ever happens, though. Like, you just have to look at the supporting cast and how they scale in comparison. I mean, the free cores of Tundra are just stacked, all of them. Nine's, of course, lagging behind the other two a little. But Kunkka doesn't really slow down. And love his item choice here in this game. Hasn't gone for one of those kind of typical crit-type builds we see a lot of the time. Instead, he's chosen to go towards a sheepstick. My god, that Lucian. Almost killed Snaking again and took a third of the HP of the Kunkka.
Skitter getting antsy, says I'm tired of waiting around. They scan them out, does the dire team and Tundra. Nine, you hear the Rolling Thunder being queued up as if he wants to go.
They know about 9. They're gonna roll into him straight away. Bolt coming in, the song straight away. The second layer of initiation isn't there. Talon need to get out.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. Because they're just gonna disappear. Global Silence comes out, forces the buyback instantly from the Darkseer, but Makoto, he can't do anything. The Doom is still running. 33 self-casted it. He's just a walking denial of fun for the side of Talon. Buyback comes out from Pango. Roche is still not finished, and 23 Savage unable to keep committing the bear like this. Hyde does go in with a hook shot. It's not low enough to snatch. Snaking will have to buy back. Hyde now gone 33 in with the triple kill. 23 Savage finally unleashed on Skitter. Skitter with the BKB will try to get the final hit. It's going to be tight here to see who can get it. The Stomp's going to come and stop the bear, and Skitter does get the Aegis. And 23 Savage in a bit too deep here. We'll go for the true form play to try and stay alive. Skitter's going to be brought down once. Buyback does come out from the Kunkka and the Hoodwink, but they are relentless. Savage, no, it's now or never. Heavy damage out. KP, that's going to be the dieback. Follow up onto Makoto. He's now gone for 110 seconds, and 23 Savage is in trouble. The bear cannot access him. Denied by his own clockwork. 23 Savage will be taken down.
All dead. And they're all staying dead. I mean, what an epic fight that was. It lasted forever, a minute plus easy. But the Roshan, it was so funny to see both teams realize that a Roshan had like 500 life, and they just beeline for it, the Lone Druid and the Nagasiren specifically, and it was a matter of who's going to actually pick up that Aegis. And sure enough, Nagasiren was able to, and that was critical because Nagasiren dying shortly after that, and of course able to resurrect and do what he did. But yeah, you mentioned it very well in that fight too. Doom just jumping in as that walking Doom himself and creating chaos, I think specifically on the clockwork, preventing him from being very useful with the early initiation. Darkseer's wall, again, just not able to really be the presence that you hope for in those fights too. But the longevity of the fight, just when it's all said and done, favored Tundra. Knew that going in, and it certainly was the case in the long run. So 3 are dead. I mean, they still got these dark portraits being created, but it's not really going to be the answer here to hold off this push. It feels like, at least as I say that, he just sent it down mid lane, trying to pull the creep wave back, but the tower is dead, and now finally the barracks are exposed. And that's where Skitter's going to go next, try to get the seal.
Man, honestly, like 33 should just, like Doom in this situation should just be called Captain Anti-Fun. Like you just cast it on yourself and walk around this fight every time, and there's just so many heroes that don't want to deal with that. Like the only one that can actually address that Doom threat is the Lone Druid. The support and cast can't do anything. As you're going to see again, Global Silence going to come out to ensure the kill in the Grimstroke with no assistance his way. That will lock him in to try and take a second lane. Glyph is going to be forced out. Tundra don't necessarily have to walk away though.
Yeah, it cannot be fun playing against a Doom with this Ag effect, as well as, by the way, a Silencer on the other side. There's just a lot of spell deniability coming out in this game. So, again, they only get the one set of racks. So, big picture, it's still not game over for Talon. And they are going to be able to kind of hold here and reset of swords. But buyback situation, I mean, nobody in this game has buybacks other than the Nagasiren and the Doom. Everyone else currently either short on gold or timer.
Yeah, well, yeah, almost everyone who doesn't have it committed it in the last fight. The only exception, of course, the Lone Druid, who doesn't have buyback. Not really the hero that typically saved it, just because the way that he works with summoning the bear frequently. But it's getting worrisome, Breaky. There's not many games in the history of Dota where a team ends up more net worth behind the minutes past in the game and makes a recovery. We are slipping close to that point here.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to look at it as to how much of a lead Tundra certainly has in this game. So I go back to what I said earlier with the Dark Portrait, and especially with this bear of Lone Druid. I mean, the Rat Dota is certainly the ideal game-winning potential of Talon. Now, Tundra is doing a good job of making sure the lanes are pushed out. We saw earlier there was a push that happened at the top lane, even getting all the way to the tier 4 towers. I think since then, Tundra has made a valiant effort to make sure that doesn't necessarily just happen. That they're paying attention to that constantly and not going to let that bear just push out a lane and get a successful base presence going. So, yeah, the lead, though, is just completely overwhelming. 48 minutes into the game, so the idea of tier 5 items isn't necessarily there just yet, but honestly, I could see with this game, it does feel like one of these ones where a turtle can continue, and it's definitely a potential.
And you can see that the issue with Talon right now is they're playing very blind. They need to get some vision out on the map. They go for some limited, but unlikely to get dewarded wards around their own south side of the map. The hopes that they find Tundra split and they can just try and pounce on that before they regroup as 5. Because you just look at the net worth differentials and you understand that a direct 5-on-5 fight is unlikely to go any way but Tundra's.
This bear, though, Thistle Blade, Milner, Deso, it is a scary, scary bear for sure.
Yeah, they're looking for independence in their heroes, if you think about it. So, like, they're going Axe next on the Lone Druid, so this bear can just maybe go hunt a support. And they've been doing the same already with the Grimstroke Dark Portrait, just trying to always hunt snaking. In fact, credit to him for only dying 6 times in this game, where it feels like the last half of it has been him being chased by Naga illusions.
I mean, to the point of the Axe on Lone Druid, it's really just, as I was talking about the Ratwood, I think, if anything. It's, that, like I said, that's kind of their only win condition. Sure, to be able to kind of get a support in the backlands would be nice.
Unless the bear dies.
Well, the bear dying is an issue, but
he has the BKB.
For now.
Yeah, he gets just out of range because the snare was coming off cooldown. Of course, Skitter does have that Axe. The only danger that Tundra have is they are kind of reaching a point where it's like, what do I build next? Because Skitter's got everything. He's at 40k net worth. The only thing that's really missing in this stage is a cheeky Moonshard. Which stage you've got nothing else to build.
Yeah, I mean, could swap out the boots for the occasion when a fight does break out. You know, put in a. Let's just go Divine Rapier. Why not? Just really in this game.
I mean, on an illusion hero, though, right? It just feels like if you do that, you're letting the Lone Druid win the game. But yeah, I get your point. It's like there's
make
not
things
much
interesting,
else to do.
okay, KP? Hey, nothing.
Okay.
It's just
so you're saying it would be
suggestion.
terrible if he just queued up a second heart and like got rid of his Lincolns, right?
Sure.
Looks like he's going for MKB instead. Interesting. I wouldn't have necessarily said the MKB was needed, but I guess like if items remaining for a Naga to pick, if you just want to have more damage output in the fight, it does make a lot of sense.
I think a Swift Blink would actually be really good on him as a replace for the boots. Talking about that.
Yeah, so the only issue is like if you remove your boots, your illusions can't farm wide anymore, right? So like, not that he really needs to farm more, but I guess from his perspective, it's like it's not about me farming more; it's about them farming less because everything's always pushed in.
Not to remove the boots, just put them into their back so you create the illusion.
Yeah, I
get
get
the
you.
backpack, kind of swap it in. Yeah. So micro. I mean, we're at that point, right? Where the microing is going to be.
Whoa! You want him to do more micro? He's playing an illusion here already, Breaky. Jeez.
Yep.
The guy's still got more series to play today. Give him a break. You gotta stockpile some of that energy. They got like what? Have they got 2 more series today still? There's one more after this for them.
1 more series for Tundra. Yeah.
Okay, but this is still game 1 of this series. So
yeah.
Probably
by
feel
the
like
way,
a long day.
Like I was saying, this one is the turtle is very real. I mean, I actually could see this going 60 minutes, which normally I fear for the team that's way ahead at this point of like, oh, if you let it go to 60 minutes and tier 5 is going to have it. I think that's actually going to be the way that Tundra could potentially just finish this game. They farm those tier 5 items and then push with that, but
there's definitely some reluctancy. Talon finally had enough to come out. Hook shot, free kill for them. Global Silence will not save this Hoodwink. Reinforcements are on the way though. 33 with the Doom effect around him. Will move in range on the Pangolier. Soulbind will keep him close by. The Dakota able to move away. Vacuum turnaround now. Not good enough to enable the bear to get in range on the backside. Boat is now coming through into Clockwork. Hyde able to dodge out beautifully with the Stormcrafter. Won't stop him from dying though, and the Hex is going to be there. The drag back. Nine says, get over here. Where do you think you're going, Bear Man? They trap in 23 Savage. He tries to run away with the Savage Roar, but Skid is on top of him and not leaving. Barry's going to be clubbed down. 23 Savage is gone, dead for 90 seconds. No way of getting back into the fight. And Talon looking with no way of getting back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame Talon there in terms of just trying to make a play, right? This is they have to do something. They can't just literally sit in their base just for the next 20 minutes and just hope for the best. They try to go for a big play, as Q is also picked off. When it's all said and done, way over here, he's found by the Doom. They jumped, they got the initial kill on Hoodwink, but of course, just not enough time, to be able to get out, and the response was there, so.
Hey man, it's Hoodwink in a nutshell. This is why I love playing it support. This is why I think Sax loves it as well. Yeah, you might eventually die. You'll probably eventually die a lot, especially against these type of drafts. It's just like, what do they have to do to kill you though? How frustrated are they going to be? How easy they think it is, and how quickly will they realize it's not that easy? And what makes this easy now for Tundra is Talon made that commitment. They didn't insta buyback on the Lone Druid. Tundra know Lone Druid doesn't have a buyback clearly, so they're going to get mega creeps.
Yeah, and the one other thing I'll say about that is because they've already been waiting this long, part of me is a little disappointed in Talon in terms of just not letting Lone Druid at least get that Ags as that next tool of like, okay, maybe this is going to give us a shot here. They kind of go, frankly, just right before, because he only needed not even 1,000 more gold before that would have been completed. So that's the one thing I will say on that, but again, it goes back, hey, this is, at the time, it was like a 45,000 net worth lead. Now it's a 60K, and it's pretty much all but done at this point as we're going to be seeing the mega creeps now. But 15 seconds for Grimstroke. The tier 4 is now being beat down. It's going to be a last stand at this point coming out for Talon.
It's going to be a one hell of a last stand. The side that comes out with the underdog at the end of the movie to give us the Cinderella story we want, because Talon are truly up against the ropes, close to the hour mark, but in terms of net worth, we're already past that. 62,000 now in favor of Tundra. And that hesitation, maybe some people feel, oh, why Tundra not playing quicker? Why are they not trying to close this out? One, is the scalability of the lineup, and two, it's the fact that so far they've only been able to draw series. They want to start getting wins to feel confident, to feel like they could still make it to the upper bracket. And if they secure this Roche and make their way towards the base of the final time, it feels all but inevitable that this will be a Tundra victory.
Roshan, that should be pretty free. Rocket's going to scout it, but not a big deal. I mean, they have an Axe. It's probably, what, Kunkka? He doesn't have one yet, so Torrent Storm likely to pick it up here. The Refresher Shard. God. Yeah, that sounds nice.
Oh, Refresher Shard as well. Let's make it free. We should turn this into a water park.
He gets the cheese. Refresher Shard. Who picked up the Refresher Shard? Is it Silencer? Yeah, okay. He's got a Shadow Blade, by the way. I love it.
He's sick of those Naga illusions. Like, I keep almost dying. I need a way away from this.
And he has 5,000. He actually is going to be able to buy a Refresher Orb soon, too.
Oh my. Just don't buy out on it. Just don't be that guy. And again, free silences. I mean, how can you lose? Other than, dying straight away.
Yeah, I mean, you're up 70,000 net worth. You have many multiple ultimates. You better not lose.
Doom jump in. 33. Global Stance sets them up for the follow-up kill on the Hyde. And they're on to the tier 4s. They're going to
protect the fountain.
Drag back. 9. It's water park time. I hope you brought your swimming trunks, because we're about to dive deep, baby. Let's go. 9 stands his ground. Second Global Science comes out. The bear is dead. Talon are done. No chance of coming back into this game. Tundra hesitant to fully commit onto the throne. Instead, they will commit for hero after hero. 33 is still going with these Dooms. And they will turn this into a very brutal beatdown to take game 1.
Staying to the bitter end, but in the end, it is Tundra that is victorious here in game number 1. So congratulations to them. As of course, what more else is there to say, right? We had plenty of time, let's be honest, to analyze that game and figure out what really happened. But in the end, it's eventually Tundra. It's just a matter of time, it seemed like, in terms of being able to come through and pull through with the victory. So hey, there was some fun stuff. Like I said, the first time we saw Grimstroke in this tournament so far, and it is really interesting how it just so happened to be a decent counter to the Naga Siren. That was that final pick with those dark portraits, and that seemed like